This is Augustana Sportscene, a weekly update on Viking athletics at South Dakota's largest private college. Enjoy the action and excitement of NCAA Division II athletics at Augustana.
Welcome to another edition of Augustana Sportscene. On this week's show, we'll fire up our Augustana Sports Update. We'll also visit with basketball coaches Tom Billiter and Dave Krauth. A little later in the program, in our Augustana Sports Focus, we'll catch up with outstanding women's basketball player Alex Feeney, and we'll take a look at what's ahead on the Augustana Sports calendar for this week. So let's get the action rolling. Here comes Augustana Sports Update for this week.
Augie Sports Update is brought to you by Schoenemann's.
Last Friday, the Augustana men's basketball team began NSIC conference play by rolling over Southwest Minnesota State 83-66 before 3,022 fans at the Elman Center. The Vikings got out to a 45-33 halftime lead behind a solid, hard-working first half effort. Augustana kept their foot on the gas in the second half as they pushed their lead to as many as 22 points. Cameron McCaffrey paced the offensive attack with 21 points. Dre Murray added 15 and 3 assists. Brennan Olson scored 12 points as he slammed home 2 thunderous dunks. Cody Schilling tacked on 11 points, with Derek DeZeal leading the Vikings to a 39-28 rebound advantage as he grabbed 7 boards. Then on Saturday night, Augustana upped their record to 5-1 on the season as they defeated Minnesota State Mankato 69-51 in front of 3,047 fans at the Elman Center. The Vikings led 24-16 at halftime before turning up the heat in the second half to claim the 18-point victory. Cameron McCaffrey and Cody Schilling each scored 19 points to lead Augustana. Leif Nomeland hauled down 11 rebounds and Derek DeZeal 9 to lead the Vikings to a 45-31 rebound advantage. Augustana shot 39% from the field and 75% from the free throw line. At halftime of the game, fans were treated to the outstanding ball handling skills of the fantastic Alexandria Aces from Alexandria, Minnesota. In women's basketball, Coach Dave Krauth's team kicked off conference play by bouncing Southwest Minnesota State 85-54 at the Elman Center. The Vikings led 38-27 at halftime before pulling away in the second half for the 31-point victory. The Augustana ladies had a balanced offensive effort with 5 players scoring in double figures. Faith Tinklenberg led the way with 16 points, with Emily Schulte adding 13, Shantiva Ashley 12, and Alex Feeney and Lydia Nelson 11 each. The Vikings bombed in 10 of 14 three-pointers on their way to their 4th win of the young season. Then on Saturday, Augustana picked up a 62-57 win over Minnesota State Mankato. The Vikings led 29-28 at halftime, but had to rally from a 7-point second-half deficit to secure the victory. Alex Feeney led the way on a 20-point, 10-rebound performance. Emily Schulte added 12 points, with Lydia Nelson and Shantiva Ashley tallying 10 each. In indoor track, Coach Tracy Hellman's men's and women's teams competed in the Minnesota State Preseason Open in Mankato. Augustana had 4 champions: Katie Goosey in the high jump, Lynn Severson in the 400-meter run, Adu Amat in the 1,000-meter run, and Justin Cook in the 800 meters. That's our sports update for this week. When we come back, we'll talk Augustana men's basketball with Coach Tom Billiter. Stay with us.
Augustana Sportscene is brought to you by Sanford Health, improving the human condition. By Schoenemann's, your trusted building center since 1888. And by Mid-Continent Communications, part of your community.
When I was young, I loved helping my grandfather with projects. From building a birdhouse to odd jobs around the house, we always got our supplies from Schoenemann's. I remember the smell of the fresh-cut lumber and all the bins full of nails, nuts, and bolts. Today, my projects are a bit bigger, and so is Schoenemann's selection. I rely on them for everything I need.
Schoenemann's in Sioux Falls and Harrisburg. Expert advice, everything you need.
You can always do it right with Schoenemann's.
The all-new midsize 2012 Passat with dual-zone automatic climate control, Bluetooth, and scheduled carefree maintenance included. The Passat has more premium standard features than its competitors. That's the power of German engineering.
Hey, you always make my day.
you hold a moment? Keep friends and family close. Witness the passage of time. Replay the glory days. Relive magical nights. Create memories to share. How do you capture a lifetime? One picture at a time. Life Touch. Photography for a lifetime.
Hi, I'm Chad Greenway of the Minnesota Vikings. I'm a big fan of how youth sports can help kids stay physically fit. But as an athlete and a parent, I'm also very concerned about safety. Millions of sports-related concussions happen every year, and many go unrecognized. That's alarming because the wrong treatment can slow recovery, worsen the condition, or lead to permanent damage. Please learn the facts about concussions and help protect our young athletes.
To learn more, visit sanfordhealth.org/heads-up.
The Augustana Men's Basketball Report is brought to you by Sanford Health.
Joining me now is Augustana men's basketball coach Tom Billiter. Well, Tom, we're right after the game here. The big win against Minnesota State Mankato here at the Elman Center, followed by last night's big victory over Southwest Minnesota State. So the Vikings go out to 2-0 in the NSIC with a couple of home wins. Tom, let's go back to last night first.
Well,
super win against Southwest.
I think Southwest is a pretty good team. You know, they got almost everybody back from last year. I thought they had a good game plan on us. I thought we played pretty well. You know, I thought we made shots. I thought we got, you know, some extra shots. I thought when we got extra shots, we hit threes. You know, there's 2 offensive rebounds we kicked out for 6 points. That's how you win games. Back and forth, tight game. They actually had the lead with about midway through the first half, and then we just kind of got going. And you know, it's funny how basketball is. I thought that last putback by Alex Richter to move the score to 12 was just a lift. You could feel it in the locker room. And then we came out. We started the second half very strong, and I think we were on, I don't know the exact numbers, like 8-2 run to get us going. And then the lead was never less than 13 or 14, as big as 22. And I just thought we did a nice job of just managing the game and hanging on. And you know, Brennan Olson had a very good evening, and it was funny, you know, Cody Schilling had like 4 for 11 shooting, 11 points, and you know, he comes off the floor and I go, Cody, that's one of the best games you've ever played, you know, and he goes, that was fun, you know, because he defended well and he just played such a complete game. So, you know, it's easy to mention a lot of guys, Dave Fritsch and Dre, but obviously Cam's back to, you know, close to what he was last year, and it's just been a process. You know, he had surgery in September, and it's just a process, but you know, I've said it twice, I'm giving Brandon Wells, our trainer, kudos, man. He's been doing a great job with Cam, and you know, he's probably, you know, right now Brandon might be our MVP. You know, we've just got to get these guys healthy.
Well, Cam kept it going here on Saturday night too. The Vikings came back and got another victory over Minnesota State. A little bit different kind of ball game, Tom.
Well, you know, I think what Mankato State did was smart. It was different. You know, they really held on to the ball. They ran the clock down to under 10 before they looked for offense. A lot of movement, so we were always moving, and they got face cutting us and doing some things that we didn't do very good. You know, we got complacent. You know, we just kind of stand after they'd pass, and all of a sudden they're face cutting us. And you know, we were talking earlier, they get a 7-8 point lead, we're in trouble, because a 7 or 8 point lead with that type of offense is like a 15 point lead, you know, and then you rush your shots, you know, and now you got to come play defense for another 35 seconds. And so we were down 12-10, and you know, I was sitting there going, oh man, if they, you know, they missed a couple shots, you know, if they hit those, get up 6 or 7, oh, you know, I was sitting there going, this could be a real long evening. Fortunately, neither team shot on. We were both in the 20 percentile for the first half, but we were able to get control of it a little bit. And going in at halftime with an 8 point lead with that style of play is probably like a 12 or 13 point lead. And so if they were going to choose to continue to play that way, we were okay. And if they were going to, you know, try to speed up the game, we were going to be happy, because we really didn't want to play that pace. But it was a smart play by them.
One of the stats that stuck out to me after the game was the rebounding advantage we had, and it was great to see Leif Nolan and Derek Duzay really dominate the
I thought, and Yuri, you know, in a weird way, Yuri Maloshenko, he had a couple key ones. And you know what's funny, Bill, is there's going to be a lot of rebounds when both teams aren't shooting very well. You know, we had 14 offensive rebounds because we missed a lot of good shots. We took 19 threes, of which we made 3, and I would say 17 of the 19 were shots I would never turn down. I mean, you know, it's shots we're going to make. You're going to laugh at me, but at halftime, I was very positive. I said, you just keep shooting that ball. We haven't taken a bad shot yet. Just keep doing what we're doing. You know, we made some adjustments on some things, but not much. It was all defensive adjustments. And, you know, we did shoot 53% in the second half. But, you know, it was just one of those nights where the pace was so different. We don't practice that way, and I'm not sure they do, you know. So I think their shots were a little off, because I'm not 100% sure that they were exactly, you know, in rhythm all the time either. But again, you know, I understand why they did it, and it wasn't a bad idea.
Well, the Vikings off to a 2-0 start, 5-1 now overall. And it's the long road trip up to the University of Mary on Friday night and then on to Northern State on Saturday. 2 tough games, Tom.
Well, I will say this, and everybody knows it, but if Northern State picked 10th in our league as the 10th best team in our league, then what a league. I mean, they're just a very good team. Tetzloff and obviously, Pryor inside are just 2 fabulous frontline guys. I mean, they're just a very good basketball team. And, Mary's down a little bit. They'll be awfully hard. We've never won on their court. We'll go in there and we'll shoot about 8% and we'll struggle, and that's what we do there, So, somehow we've got to get that off our back, go in there and play a good game. But they're still a good basketball team. You can't lose Anthony Moody. They lost some great players. Last year they were arguably one of the top 10 teams in the country, and they'll reload and they'll get going again as well. And shoot, though, like I said, we never play well there. It'll be a heck of a game.
Well, it's a great start for the Vikings. More basketball ahead. Tom, good luck to you and
Thanks,
your team.
Girl.
The Augustana Women's Basketball Report with Coach Dave Krauth is next.
My eye was a tumor and it hurts in my head and it's right here. I have 3 favorite colors, red, pink, and purple. I like to draw fairies, princesses, and clothes. I want to be, when I grow up, a clothes modeler. It models clothes. This is my victory.
The Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference. With 6-team national championships since 2006 and 18 individual national champions, the NSIC has developed into the premier Division II conference in the upper Midwest. The NSIC boasts 14 schools competing in 17 sports, all committed to one common goal: athletic and academic excellence. The Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference, a proud member of NCAA Division II athletics.
You may have met one. The teachers who challenge. The ones who motivate. The ones who can fire imagination. The ones, in short, that you'll find at Augustana. Now, maybe you don't believe that one college could have so many great professors. If so, you're in for an education. Augustana.
Why do you play? Why go through all the pain, the endless practices? For the victories? For the joy of playing the game? Or do you play for something even greater? If you already know the answer, we're the network for you. Midco Sportsnet. This is how we do sports.
The Augustana Women's Basketball Report is brought to you by Mid-Continent Communications.
With me now is Augustana Women's Basketball Coach Dave Krauth. Well, Dave, we're right after the Minnesota State game here at the Yellman Center. The Vikings came out on top 62-57. Tonight's victory followed last night's 84-53 victory over Southwest Minnesota State. 2 great wins, Dave. Let's back up, talk first about the Southwest game.
Well, that might have been our best game of at least the young season. Just had a nice defensive effort and shot the ball pretty well, and really got a lot of different players involved. So that was a fun one, and I think the matchups, as it turned out, we ended up taking advantage of where the matchups favored us.
Yeah, there were a lot of good performances, but it was good to see Faith Tinklenberg have a pretty good game.
Faith had a real nice game, and she's been a little tentative, as we've gotten into this season, coming off a knee injury, but took the ball to the basket, hit some shots, went after the ball coming off the glass, and those are things that she's done in the past, and hopefully we'll get more and more of that out of her.
Well, the victory tonight against Minnesota State did not come easy. A 1-point game at halftime, tooth and nail all the way down to the end, Dave. It was a great college basketball game.
Yeah, it was nerve-wracking. I mean, I don't think, for me it was any different than probably a lot of the fans watching. We shoot 29%, 2 for 16 on 3-pointers, and are able to win. And really, Mankato has a nice club. They've got some size and they've got some athleticism, and to sneak a win, or to steal one when you've played that poorly offensively. But again, we made some plays on the defensive end. It seemed like when it counted.
Yeah, it looks to me, Dave, like you're an improved defensive team, and that sure carried you tonight.
Well, we go with two, or sometimes and tonight down the stretch we had three small guards in there, and they're all quick and tend to get their hands on the ball. Emily Schulte had 14 steals in the 2 games this weekend, which is just incredible. So we'll bother people. We didn't bother Mankato tonight nearly the way we did Southwest last night, but we got enough, and I'm pleased with that end.
Well, picking up on what you talked about with the 3 guards, we've got Molly Hayes, who's been here a while, of course. Then you have Emily, who's getting rolling here, and then Shantiva Ashley. They can really raise havoc.
Yeah, and sometimes if you go small, I mean, you may find situations where the matchup doesn't favor you, but I've just found over the years that teams don't take advantage of your lack of size and position sometimes quite the way you think they might, and our quickness has helped us in most of our games.
Yeah, well, another player who really had another great game tonight was Alex Feeney with 20 points.
Alex has been kind of the steady, particularly the offensive player, but she gives us some veteran stuff out there that we need at times, and again she hit, in particular, some big free throws down the stretch, but made some big baskets, and it wasn't one of her best offensive nights, just like you could say for anybody else on our team, but we got enough out of her to get through it.
Well, next weekend the Vikings hit the road in NSIC play. It starts out on Friday night up at the University of Mary, and then we go on to Northern State on Saturday night.
And interestingly, Mary, I was talking to Jeff Filling on our pregame, and I said, some teams really I feel like they mirror you. I mean, Mankato in some respects, even though they're a little bigger at times, but Mary has always been a team that I felt mirrored us quite a bit. So, that'll be a tough one, and then we come back with Northern, and they're a little different. They tend to go big and try to pound you a little bit and keep the pace of play a little slower.
Well, Dave, it's another great weekend of NSIC play. The Vikings are 5-1. Keep it going.
Thanks, Bill.
Up next, Augie Sports Focus. Stay with us.
I was half the person I used to be, literally. I knew that if I didn't have the strength that I'd back in my body, I'd never be able to ride my Harley again, and that was one of my other goals I had, was to be able to get back on the bike. Just being able to get out and experience, the area and the surroundings on the back of a bike is so much different than being in a car. You can smell the smells as you drive through, you can hear the sounds. It's just great. This is my victory.
With every click of a LifeTouch camera, a school memory is captured. Education benefits. And children are safer. LifeTouch School Portraits. Great things come from great pictures.
You travel these parts like we have, and you can't miss it. Pride. Pride in who we are, where we're going, and where we want to be. It brings us together, makes us better. We've learned some truths along the way. Talent. It isn't measured by geography. Small town doesn't mean small time. And every battle is epic to those in the fight. This is how we do sports.
The all-new mid-size 2012 Passat with dual-zone automatic climate control, Bluetooth, and scheduled carefree maintenance included. The Passat has more premium standard features than its competitors. That's the power of German engineering.
When I was young, I loved helping my grandfather with projects. From building a birdhouse to odd jobs around the house, we always got our supplies from Schoenemann's. I remember the smell of the fresh cut lumber and all the bins full of nails, nuts, and bolts. Today, my projects are a bit bigger, and so is Schoenemann's selection. I rely on them for everything I need.
Schoenemann's in Sioux Falls and Harrisburg. Expert advice, everything you need.
You can always do it right with Schoenemann's.
Augie Sports Focus is brought to you by Schoenemann's.
Joining me now is outstanding Augustana women's basketball player, Alex Feeney. Alex, it's great to have you on Augustana Sportscene. We're right after the Minnesota State game here at the Elman Center. The Vikings with a great 62-57 victory. We're going to come back to that here in a little bit, but to begin with, Alex, Bismarck, North Dakota. That's where you're from.
Yep.
And a great high school career up there. Some connections to Augustana from the past, but how did you end up coming to Augie?
I've just, like you said, we have kind of connections from the past. My dad was a coach here years ago, an assistant men's coach. And so we've been back, team camps since high school, traveling tournaments, and just stayed close. I mean, we've known Coach Krauth for quite a long time, and just growing up watching his programs, he's had always competitive teams and just have a lot of respect for the program. And I considered Mary too, and a couple other Northern Sun schools, but Sioux Falls just seemed like the right fit.
Yeah, well, we're glad you're here. Well, the Vikings are now 5-1 on the season. They're 2-0 in the NSIC. Last night defeated Southwest Minnesota State. Tonight, Minnesota State. What'd you think about the games this weekend?
I'm really excited about this team this year just because we are playing so much better team defense, and we have different kids step up every night, and I'm so proud of our younger kids, and we're hungry this year. And that comes with younger teams too, just kind of hungry to play, and I feel like we're really balanced and we're deep. I mean, we have someone have an off night, we can look down the bench and there's 2, 3, 4 more kids that can step up. So it's just exciting to see everyone working so hard.
Well, Alex is a junior now, and she's had a great career here already, but she's really stepping forward. She's had some double-doubles this year. And before we got on the air here, she talked a little bit about her goals for this year. What are your personal goals as a basketball player?
Rebounding is my biggest goal. I've kind of been inconsistent with that the last 2 years, but just expanding my game. After 2 years, you're scouted pretty well, and I'm just doing different things, put the ball on the floor more, just try to do more things, help my team out.
Well, tonight Alex had 20 points and some great moves, but in particular she had one where she went down the lane to the basket, a left-handed layup, got fouled, made a three-point play. That was a great move, Alex.
Thanks.
Yeah, so we'll show you that one. But anyway, she's being modest. But Alex, let's switch gears a little bit. What's your major here at Augustana, and what do you want to do?
My major is elementary education, and I just added a SPED minor, that's special education minor, last spring. And also I have a coaching endorsement, and I think that's what I want to do right away, is grad assistant maybe here, somewhere else, just somewhere, stay around the game for a little bit more, maybe get into coaching and eventually teaching.
And then follow her dad, Jim, who was a coach here, and also the head men's coach at the University of Mary for a number of years. I guess you've been playing basketball a long time, kind of in the family. Shelley, her mother, played at, Kansas State. Jim, of course, being a coach. What do you like about the game of basketball?
It's funny. I feel like I love it more and more every year. It's been part of my life since, they used to have us posting up. We have home videos of them having us post up on a little Tykes basketball hoop. Before my memory, it's been in our life. So just watching my dad's games, we'd get so into those, and it's an everyday part of my life, and I just love it.
Yeah, well, and you do it very, very well. Last question here, Alex. Junior now at Augustana. Reflect on your experiences at Augie. What's it been like to be a basketball player and a student here?
I got to give Coach a lot of credit. Even looking to Molly, when you have players coming back and want to play a 6-year basketball, that says a lot about the program, and he just makes it's a good balance of, hard work and dedication, but fun. We love coming to practice every day. We go hard. I mean, he just makes it a really enjoyable experience.
Yeah. Well, we're certainly happy that you're here, and you have a lot of basketball to go yet, and the Vikings are going to have a great season. So good luck, Alex.
Thanks.
The Augustana Sports Calendar is next. We'll be right back.
They're not that easy to come by. The teachers who engage us. The truly gifted ones. The ones whose words stay with us for days or even years. The odds are you'll only know a few of them. Unless you go to Augustana. Then your chances are greatly improved. Augustana.
When I was young, I loved helping my grandfather with projects. From building a birdhouse to odd jobs around the house, we always got our supplies from Schoenemann's. I remember the smell of the fresh cut lumber and all the bins full of nails, nuts, and bolts. Today, my projects are a bit bigger, and so is Schoenemann's selection. I rely on them for everything I need.
Schoenemann's in Sioux Falls and Harrisburg. Expert advice, everything you need.
You can always do it right with Schoenemann's.
Here's to all you crazies. You, the hometown diehards, the fanatics. That's what a fan is after all. You live or die by what happens on the field, on the court, and in your heart every time your team plays. So, let your freak flag fly. We're here for you. Midco Sportsnet. This is how we do sports.
There's just times that there's a lot of darkness. I would be in church looking at the PowerPoint and just thinking, this could be my funeral, this could be my pictures up there. The day came when I could actually stand in front of our congregational family and I could sing a solo, and that was so huge because I had forgotten how beautiful a song could be in my heart.
My word is celebrate.
The Augustana Sports Calendar is brought to you by Sanford Health.
Let's take a look at the Augustana Sports Calendar for this week. Friday, December 9th, the Augustana Wrestlers host a triangular at the Elman Center at 5 o'clock with the Vikings taking on Northwestern and Dakota Wesleyan. Basketball, men and women at the University of Mary. The women tip off at 6, followed by the men at 8. Then on Saturday, December 10th, it's basketball again on the road at Northern State University in Aberdeen, with the women playing at 6 and the men at 8. Remember, for radio coverage of Augustana basketball, you can hear the men on KIKN FM 100.5 and worldwide at KIKN.com. And the Augustana ladies can be heard on KXRB AM 1000 and worldwide at KXRB.com. And for complete information on Augustana athletics, go to our website, goaugie.com. That's it for this week's show. This is Bill Gross thanking you for watching, and I hope you'll join me again at this same time next week for another edition of Augustana Sportscene. Have a great week, everybody.
You've been watching Augustana Sportscene, a weekly update on NCAA Division II athletics at South Dakota's largest private college. Learn more about Augustana College in Sioux Falls at augie.edu.